Hey, yo, G Dash, boy, take your hat off. Fine. Then Friday, we got live at the Rockford Tavern with the Ty Mathis Express. Hey, yo, Ty, what you doing with that double guitar?
Oh, I got this whole world spinning round. So baby, what's the answer now?
Ooh, that's funky. And then Sunday, Outlet Dope, February 19th, we got Babe dancing on the stage, Honey dancing on the stage, The Stand on the Grill, and Pure Romance in the building. Hey, yo, Mo Nicole, tell them what you doing on that stage.
I'm gonna be performing my brand new EP, Love You Forever, and that dropped February 10th. So
On Hats Off with G Dash Jones. Good day, good people. That's right. You know what it is? It's your boy G Dash Jones. Oh man. And what's this? Oh, it's another episode of Hats Off. What? Oh no, y'all know what we doing on Hats Off. And today we got Mo on the show. But before I tell you about Mo, right, I always gotta tell y'all some things before I even get to there, right? So before we even get to that, because that's gonna be a fire episode, she gonna tell about some doula stuff, she gonna talk about some cooking. Listen, I ain't even gonna go there yet, but what I'm gonna say is, before I even get to that, y'all need to know, Delaware Music Network open mic jam session has moved. It's still gonna be on the first Wednesday of every month. It's still gonna be, the door's still gonna open at 6, but now it's gonna be at the Wilmington Library. That's right, it's gonna be at the Wilmington Library for the Delaware Music Network open mic jam session. That's the first Wednesday of every month. Also, you should know, if you ain't, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but what you need to be doing tomorrow is coming out to see Ty Mathis at the Rockford Tavern, right? He going to Ty Mathis Express. They're going to get the band going. Boom, boom. It's going to be a vibe. Okay, right? You need to go see them. That's on Friday. Bow. Again, doors open at 6. I'm sorry, doors open at 7. Show starts at 8, right? It's going to be a vibe, and I'm hosting. You know G Dash is hosting. I'm going to spit some words. I got to spit some words on that. And then Sunday, Oddly Dope. Word? Mo Nicole gonna do the whole album, the boom. Mo Nicole performing there. Then we got Honey and Babe. They're gonna be rocking on the stage, a little dance session. It's gonna get a little, okay, all right now, watch it. And then listen, Pure Romance and the Pure Romance. All right, that's what Pure Romance gonna do. Listen, that's Oddly Dope. That's gonna be at the Oddity Bar. The stand gonna be on the grill. I don't know if you know what the stand do. They're gonna get you, listen, it's gonna be right. And of course I'm hosting. Why not? Bow. That's gonna be Sunday at the Oddity Bar. Boom. The Oddly Dope Love Edition. We in the building, presented by the Delaware Music Network. All right, now with that said, I'm gonna go ahead. I gotta go ahead and bring up Mo.
There it is. Yes. Because see, normally I try to stay out of women's business, but sometimes I gotta bring women in to talk about women's business. Okay, that's what we here for.
Through that.
Listen, welcome everybody. Morgan Harvey, good people. Go listen. How are you today?
I am good. How are you? I can't complain.
Listen, I am phenomenal. I can tell the people that you was a doula. I can tell them that you was a chef. I already labeled you the Placenta Pro. I don't know if that was already your name, but I put it on the flyer, so we sticking with it.
I'll take it.
So with that said, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
So I am a mom. I am a wife. I'm a boy mom. I have 3 boys. We have a beautiful blended family. I am a wife. I'm a chef. I'm a doula, like you said, Placenta Pro. I've been in the food industry for about 20 years, in just about every capacity. And so, I've gotten to a place where I kind of want to do my own thing, but I still like to learn. So you'll see me working in different local places for a little bit to gain experience, exposure, just working with good friends, helping out, because I'm big on networking. But yeah, that's pretty much who I am and what I do. I'm from the Jersey, New York area. Went to University of Delaware, which is where I met my husband, and came and moved back down here almost now 10 years ago. So I've been here for a little bit of time.
Right. Yeah, you almost a Delawarean. I'm gonna tell people that you Delaware now. That's what you rep. Don't do that. Listen, that's you here, and I'm claiming you. That's it. You on Delaware's taxes now. So
yes, that is very true.
Both of y'all are because he from Jersey, right?
No,
yeah, nah.
No, actually, so he's from Delaware, And when I moved back, when I moved back down here to Delaware, he moved to New Jersey. So we switched back and forth. And he was in my old, like, my stomping ground. So yeah.
Oh, and then y'all decided to stay wherever the best taxes are. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, sometimes you gotta move about the tax situation. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
really the cost of living. That was really what it was. It was the cost of living. And it's crazy because he took a pay cut coming back down this way. So yeah, cost of living is a lot cheaper down this way. But when it came to, actually making money, he took a pay cut. So, for what he actually was doing at the time. So, sometimes you gotta finagle the bagel and do what you gotta do.
That's a fact. You gotta go back to go forward. You feel me? I'm here. Listen. I feel it.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, actually, he's not going back. He's helping lay a foundation,
right.
and if nothing else, I am grateful to be able to have a partner who can be able to clock in and do that grind while I do the unconventional grind. I'm trying to Tabitha Brown retire him
Right.
so he can full time do his thing.
Right.
Right.
Listen, that take that. Some people need to take notes. Look, listen, Tabitha Brown, your man. Tabitha Brown, your nip.
Exactly. You got it.
Listen, too many women walking around with shirts they want to get flued out. I want to get Tabitha Brown. Okay.
Exactly. That's somebody that I definitely follow in the footsteps of. A lot of respect for that one.
That's a fact. That's beautiful. Okay. Now, so you said that you were chefing for quite some time. What made you like shift from that world into wanting to be a doula? Like that feels like far different roads.
It is, but so my youngest is 3. And after that experience, which was an all-natural water birth, and I had an amazing photographer there, I realized that if there was one thing that was missing out of that amazing experience, it was a doula. I just didn't have a name to it. And at the time, I couldn't find any Black doulas in Delaware. It wasn't until about a month afterwards that I found one. And then it was about 3 years afterwards that I found that there were about now 14. And so when I saw that, I actually ended up jumping into working with the Central Delaware Community Doula Program. And that's where I first initially did training. And then, they've provided extra trainings. I've done outside training. So the training never stops. I like to learn anyway, and you can never have too much information. So that was really what it is. It was my youngest's birth, and the fact that we really need to be supported, specifically as Black birthing people, by people who also look like us, just because it's easier sometimes to be able to culturally understand some things, even just honestly just the way we do things in general. And so that's not to say that you can't be supported by someone that is not the same race as you, but we do look for a little bit more identity in that. And because there is such a huge disparity when it comes to especially Black maternal health and births, that's something that I feel like we need to look more into and definitely support my sisters. And so
Absolutely. Okay, so that kind of, well, first let me ask this question because I want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So is there a difference between a doula and a midwife, or are those the same thing?
Most definitely not. I am a doula right now. I have all intentions of being a midwife. So a doula is a non-medical support person for a birthing person. Pretty much I provide a lot of information. So I am a certified perinatal educator, which is childbirth and lactation as far as education is concerned. That's a lot of what we do. It's educating and advocacy. and teaching you how to be able to advocate for yourself. And that includes also the partner, the dads. You need to know how to be able to advocate for your partner as well and know what's going on. So a huge part of, you know, my personal business is making sure that I bring everybody in, that this is not just, you know, a mommy and me kind of thing, or, you know, birthing person and me kind of thing, but it literally is the whole village, the whole family, and especially the dads and the partners. So midwifery is actually medical. They actually catch babies. So I don't catch babies. I just help coach you through and allow you to do your thing and provide you information. The midwives are actually catching babies. They're the ones that are, you know, monitoring throughout the pregnancy. So that's your alternative to, I guess, a classical OBGYN. You can have both. There's nothing wrong with having both as well.
Okay, right. First things first, I have to admit that with every time you said catching babies, I just imagine CD Lamb going out. Bow, you know what I'm saying? Catching them, boom.
Right. Yeah.
Go long, bow, you know what I'm saying? Listen, this on a cord. It can only go but so far. It's on a cord. It's
very true.
So,
and that cord takes anywhere between 2 to 30 minutes to become detached. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Right now, I got. So now. Well, so if a female has a midwife, does she need a doula too? I mean, excuse me, can she have just a doula, or does she need, you know?
Well, a doula, like I said, a doula can't catch a baby. So if you choose to have, say, a home birth. Because there are two types of midwives. There are midwives that you can find in a hospital, and then there are midwives that just do home births and birth centers. And so they actually catch. You have assistants, they can help to do that as well. But as far as a doula, no, yeah, you definitely want both. I tell my clients, like, don't call me talking about, hey, the baby's head is out, because I'm gonna coach you through this. But it's somebody else that's gonna have to do that.
Right.
You know, I don't need to get sued before I get certified.
Facts. That sounds backwards and costly. So okay, right. So now here's my question, right? For Doula Mo, right? In theory, right now I have 2 little girls. I was there for the birth. I was in the room. I did not look at certain things because, yeah, I've heard stories. You know, I wouldn't opt for this. Like, if they wasn't my kids, I don't really want to be in that room. Like, there's stuff that come out. It's just an like, So what's that experience like for you? Because you go through it more than once. Like, you just, okay. Like, you opt to do this.
Yes.
Like, you want to live this life.
Yes. So I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. I am a retired EMT. So this is like my alternative rush to being able to do that, only because the age of my kids, it's not conducive right now for me to be able to do that. So I kind of get the same thrill, I'll say, when it comes to that. But being in the birth room, whether it's a C-section, a water birth, a medicated birth, whatever, because I support all, but it's probably one of the most beautiful and most empowering experiences that I think that's what honestly keeps me coming back. The women that I have supported are phenomenal, and it's amazing to watch them surprise themselves and see what they can do. You know, like, birth is hard. It's not easy. And
it looked hard. I watched it happen. It looked hard.
Exactly. So you can imagine, especially when, like, you're really, like, close to the end and now you actually have body parts that's coming out. Like, that's when you're ready to tap out. You know, you hear, okay, never mind. You know, one of my best friends before, while I was pregnant with my oldest son, she, I think, was very integral in the beginning of my birth journey, because she was the first and really only person who was real about everything that can happen, from possibly pooping yourself to what it feels like when it hurts, the whole 9 yards. And she was telling me how, you know, she said once his head came out, she's like, all right, I'm done. And they were like, no, like you still have to push. And she said, what part of I'm done don't you get? Like, y'all can pull him out, you can do whatever, but I'm done. And so to see that, and then it's like, no, you've got this, you can do this. And then those, I mean, they go inside themselves and kind of just do the thing. And it is the most, like I said, empowering and exciting experience. So I like it. I love it. And especially like for me, it's also the partners that get excited, you know, especially once that head comes, they get real excited. They're like, come on, babe, you're doing such a great job. You got this, you got this. And when you see the two of them kind of just start working together, and his words of affirmations or her words of affirmations for that birthing process, it's beautiful just to watch. So
it's being a part of the bonding experience and kind of watching the bond occur, almost like the family bond happen at that moment.
Absolutely. It's an honor. But then, so that's what it's like just from the outside. From the inside, it's a lot different as well. I've been looking into a lot. There's a lot of people who are coming together specifically for birth workers because they need help and support as well. Just as you would think that a psychiatrist would. Like, you take on a lot of emotional, I don't want to say baggage, but you take on a lot of emotional weight from your clients. You take on a lot of their fears to try to, you know, and there's things that go on that you have to keep a straight face for, you know what I mean? When there's something that's on that birth plan that ends up happening that, you know, the person doesn't want, or, you know, things don't end up favorable, it's like, how do I keep a safe and straight face so that I can continue to support this person and not let them know I'm scared, or, you know, I'm frustrated with the way that this process is going. Most of the time it's, you know, having to deal with personnel rather than the actual birth. It's, you know, because the hospitals sometimes are not favorable. they don't like doulas sometimes. Yeah. So so,
because they don't want you all up in their business. Like in their brain, we're paid to do this. Why are you here? Is that kind of the vibe?
You're not. You didn't do all the training that we did. You're not medical staff. And so, you know, it kind of, it's like a battle of the ego kind of thing. And the doulas are like, listen here, we're all on the same birth team. We all have the same goal to make sure that this is a positive, safe, and viable birthing experience, period. So if I can do something that's going to help my client, and this is what my client has asked, 90% of my clients are like, I don't want a C-section. I don't want an episiotomy. That's a fair ask. So if we can do certain things to try to keep that from happening, then why not? You know what I mean? I understand that there are times where a C-section is necessary, and that doesn't take anything away from a natural birth, whether you're scheduled or it ends up being an emergency. We're not here to say no C-sections either. If that's something that's necessary to save your life and to save the baby's life, then that's what we're going to say. Hey, listen, this is what they're saying now. This is what it's looking like. And I can still support you through this, but this is where we are in this birthing process. And still being able to understand and have someone explain to you what's going on, especially when it's not going as planned, I think helps a lot and doesn't make you feel like you're forced, which is what a lot of us feel in that situation. Like, I don't have a whole lot of say so. These doctors come in here, they're the end all be all, and I just have to do whatever they say. And I mean, you have options, and that's all we're really here to do, is to let you know what your options are and remind you that they work for you.
Listen, okay, so this is why that's deep to me, because I get it now. I totally understand, because again, as a man who was a part of that situation, and like, you go to classes, like, so you learn some stuff, but you don't know shit. Like, I thought I knew, Like, I thought I did because I was in the class. I was like, oh, and by the way, listen, whether you with her or not, whatever your circumstances, go to the classes, brother. Like, go to the classes because you're going to learn. Like, I don't care what your circumstances, you're going to be the only black one there. I was the only black one there. I was like only black daddy. I said, God, nobody taking care of it. What's happening? It was only black daddy. It wasn't even a lot of black women in the classes. I was confused. Y'all kept me pushing. I was confused. Like, brothers, you need to go because you're going to learn some things. And then, let me back up. You're going to think you're going to learn a little bit. Then we get there and, you know, it's go time. And I ain't learned like I thought, like I knew just enough to get into the room. But so I understand the theory of having that doula advocate to be in that space to actually be informed and know the rights. Because they use them with Pitocin. Oh, what is Pitocin? I didn't even know what the Pistons. They Pistons playing in here. I didn't know they got the TV on. Like I didn't know what. Like you don't know the Foley bulb. I said, why changing light bulbs? You got a Foley bulb? They got light bulbs here? Like, listen, is it LED?
They gonna put
How do you know
that
if it was LED? Where? Like, how does that work? Like, it's a lot. So I get the benefit of having an advocate and having a plan.
Absolutely.
With that said.
So like you said, definitely go to the classes, but then also understand I offer the other half. Like, listen, your involvement is as far as you are comfortable. But at any point in time, if your partner is like, listen, I just need you, you need to be partner. And now you know that your partner is still being supported while now you're just being husband, you're just being boyfriend, you're just being girlfriend, like you're just being wife, like you're just being that. And that's sometimes all that person needs. Your mom can be in the room, but sometimes you just need your mom. You don't need your mom to be your doula, because then mom can't be mom. And the reality is she's about to be grandma. She's about to be somebody's mom. Like, enjoy that moment and being able to have that and have someone know that, you know what, I've got your back. I know what what our wishes would like to be. I know how we can try to hopefully get all of them boxes checked off. And this be the most positive birthing experience as possible. No, we can't predict anything. But there are things that we know we can be able to avoid, and that's 100% based upon education. And then being confident in, this is what I want to do. This is what we're going to do. And then you set your mind to it and you let them know, all right, everybody else needs to get on board with this. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I can totally see it because in that room, when the baby is coming out, there's a level of anxiety for everyone, right? Like, because everyone wants the birth to go well. Everyone wants this to be as stress-free as possible, but everyone handles anxiety different.
Say it again. And when we specifically talk about Black birthing people, we are already seen as someone who just naturally has high blood pressure. We do not all have high blood pressure, but they are telling all of us to, the moment you're pregnant, take some aspirin. But if I don't have high blood pressure, why? But then when I get there, if for whatever reason my blood pressure is a little bit higher than what my charts have been my entire time, maybe take a second to wonder, is it the anxiety of the fact of, oh my gosh, I'm about to have this baby? Because that is real. Like, you're aware that you're about to have this baby, but once like labor really hits, that is a thought that goes in your head like, oh shoot, like, oh wow. Like, this is really, really happening. That, like you said, everyone deals with anxiety different. You also don't know what people have dealt with. And sometimes birthing experiences can bring up other traumas. That's for a birth worker as well as a birthing person. So it's necessary for y'all on the mental as well to make sure on both ends that you guys are good to go. So for my services, I actually have teamed up with a therapist group, a local therapist group. It is actually founded by a Black woman, and she has multiple women in her practice. And, you know, I hit her up and was like, listen, I know I'm going to have clients, whether they be, and that includes dads as well, because paternal postpartum depression is real as well. So it doesn't just hit moms, it hits dads as well. It hits all people. depending on the situation.
I
So to
gotta
have
pause you
the
for a second.
mental,
I didn't even see that coming. I gotta pause you for 2 seconds because they don't ever say that. They never listen.
no,
You ain't push no baby out. You better get it together. What is that like?
no,
So like.
it could be a whole host of things. Like the reality is your life changed just the same as the other person's did. And everyone handles it differently. You might not be the one who is up and breastfeeding every 2 hours, but you might be the person who is over here like, all right, this baby is here, it needs to be seen to. I don't work enough hours, I don't make enough money, and I want to provide for my child the way that I want to. That can cause you to spiral into, there's a lot of things. So I tell both parties, hey, listen, I need you to pay attention to yourself, but I also need you to pay attention to the other person, because you know that person. And when that person don't seem like they right, check in, call me. Hey, Mo, I think something might be off. You know, can you have this conversation? Can you see what this is? That is also a part of doulership. It's not that I am, diagnosing postpartum, but there are things that I know to look out for. So then I can then suggest, hey, look, why don't you go and see a therapist? Why don't, you talk to someone? It might just be the vent. You never know. If you just need to get some stuff off your chest, then sure, I'm here to listen. You can do that. But if you really do need some help, and I suffered from postpartum depression with my last, and that almost lasted a little over a year. And it was rough. It's rough. It's rough on your partner. It's rough on your family. It's rough on everybody. And so it's necessary to know some of the signs to look out for, so that when it comes down the pike, you can then get yourself or get your partner some help. So yeah, it's necessary. And I mean, like I said, you're not pushing out the baby, but it doesn't mean that you're not a part of this process.
Absolutely. You should be a part of the process. I'm with you. So now, right, we talked about that the birthing plan and all these things. So now in my surmise, as a placenta pro, that means that once the baby comes out, there's more to this. And by the way, I got to pause it for a second, because in my brain, I keep imagining your friend, and I don't even know who she is, but just the baby's head popped out. And when the baby's head popped out, she was just like, I'm done. And hey, he better grow up out of me. He better grow up out of me. I'm sorry, I can't get past him just saying, he better grow out. He better grow out. Because I'm leaving today. Get this off of me. Get it off. I'm out. Sorry. All right, I'm done. Okay.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it feels like, though. Especially if you're tired and it's a long birth. You're like, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of done. Like, tapped out. Y'all can figure this out, or you can figure this out on your own. But either way, you can keep me out the equation.
Keep your head up, son. I'm about to get in the car. Keep your head up, son. I'm getting in the car. Yeah, we leave.
Yes, you don't want to be that. Have you seen the woman who gave birth in her pants in the front seat? Like, that's real. That's real.
They rip? They had to rip. The pants ripped. They had.
No, the pants were holding the baby. It was like a little kangaroo pouch.
Shout out to the high-waisted joints.
I mean, you typically are wearing clothes that are a little bit bigger than you normally would. So, you know what I mean? To kind of keep a baby in there.
Give birth to a baby in the high-waisted pants. You should just walk around with the baby. Nah, I just kept him in the sack. Figured I ain't want him to drip everywhere. You feel me? So I kept him in the high-waisted.
I'm gonna just hold this.
No, I unbutton the top button. Don't do that. I unbutton my top button so he can breathe. Okay.
Exactly. I'm holding the front and back so the sides have ventilation. Exactly. You're holding this. Yes.
Oh man, you keep grabbing my pocket.
This is why, like I said, as an EMT, I love this, because you have to improvise. There really is no rhyme or reason to anything. I tell my clients, watch your mouth. Once we start getting to 34, 36 weeks, watch your mouth. These babies hear you. If you want these babies to come, keep talking like, oh, I'm tired. I'm done with this. Like, y'all, you can come any day now. Ask no.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, listen, they just happen when they ready. Shouts out to a mucus plug. Mucus plug scared you to death. You're like, what is that? Oh my God. Anyway, so they didn't tell me about that. That scared me. I'm
no,
like, why
see,
is
exactly.
it ill?
Why you go to the class. Exactly. And just because you have these birthing parts doesn't mean that you know everything either. Like, even in the midst of my training, I was like, really? I didn't know that. So I learned a lot of things even about, you know, my body that I didn't know. So like I said, you could never know too much.
Okay, so now once the baby's out, there's this whole
Yes.
placenta situation, encapsulation. Why would somebody like? pl- pl- Why would somebody want to do something with the placenta? Like I felt like everything that's after the fact, don't throw that away. I got the baby now. But you,
Actually, it's funny you say that because that's kind of how that's treated. The placenta is treated like that, and that's because a lot of people don't know how amazing this organ is. I mean, besides the fact that you grew the organ solely for the purpose of sustaining this baby, and that's it. Like, can you grow an organ?
no,
Like,
nope,
no,
mm-mm, mm-mm,
exactly.
mm-mm.
So I'm like, that's why I'm like, okay, so it's got to be something more special than that. This thing oxygenated your baby, it fed your baby, it filtered waste for your baby, it provided blood for your baby. So yes, once baby is here, like I said, it takes about that 2 to 30 minutes or so for the placenta to deliver itself. It just detaches from the body and, you know, comes out. Once that's there, a lot of people will talk about delayed cord clamping. A lot of people try to say, oh, well, what do we do with that in the whole 9 yards? Well, there's still blood that travels between mom and baby. There's stem cells. There's a lot of things that are beneficial for both. So that's why you hear some say, hey, I want to, you know, wait until it stops pulsating. Some people put an actual time limit to it, or they just opt for a whole lotus birth, which is taking the baby and the placenta and everything still attached to it home. And now you walk around with a baby and a sack. Until it
Like the
naturally
baby got his own
attaches off.
bag. Baby got his own
Yeah, the baby's
Birkin.
got
Baby
his own
came in a
bag.
Birkin. Hey.
Yes, exactly. Get that baby a Louis bag. Good to go. Yes. But so I was like, it's beneficial for baby as far as that's concerned. But then what does it do for the birthing person? Well, the top 4 things, especially when it comes to African Americans, we typically are anemic. So it does help with iron replenishment, which is big. You know, if you were hemorrhaging, that is something that's big as well. So you want to keep that tight. We have a lot of fluid that we retain. You know, legs get swollen, especially in those last couple of weeks or so. So it helps with that as well, flushing out kidneys. The body always wants to stay in an even keel. And after you have a baby, it's kind of just all over the place and it's got to find its new baseline. And so those hormones, as they're trying to find the baseline, the ones in the placenta will kind of help level that out a little bit more. So then it's also then said that it has the potential to lessen the possibility of postpartum depression and anxiety. But I always like to say that's coupled with having support, having proper sleep, and especially proper diet, which is why being a doula and being a chef is not too far off, because to be honest, if you do not properly eat while you're pregnant and you do not properly eat right afterwards, you're doing yourself and your baby a disservice. You can't properly grow a baby without proper nutrition. And then afterwards, especially if you're choosing to breastfeed, you need to keep that nutrition up for yourself so that you have good quality milk also for that baby. And those first, you know, that first year, well, the first 5 years, but especially that first year is very crucial for them. And if they don't get the nutrients that are necessary, you can actually cause a lot of, you know, damage in a lot of different areas.
Yeah. Okay. Now, now taking it there, that makes me curious. So, is there a difference between like Doula Mo and Chef Mo, or does that like whole world kind of combine?
They kind of all combine. I do a little bit of everything. So, I mean, today I was like nanny Mo / placenta Mo because I did a placenta last night, so to speak. So
wait, back up. What do you do to the placenta? Like what happens?
Okay, yeah. So I two different methods. There's a Chinese and a raw method. I pretty much dehydrate it, put it into pills. I make it into smoothies. I have a fabulous baking partner. So she makes truffles with them because I don't bake. So that's her. She makes truffles. And then we also have meals too. So if you wanted a meal, so we do tacos, pot pies, lasagnas, and I'm trying to think if there's one other thing. There's like one other thing.
So okay, right? Because I ain't gonna lie, I thought this, but I didn't know. So people, because they really eat it, so like they
Yes.
so does it have a flavor? That's a weird question. Is that a weird question? That's probably a weird question.
It does have a flavor. It doesn't really have a smell. It smells like, I guess, like a baby. It smells like birth. Like it doesn't have a smell, so that's a good thing. If I did have to have a smell, it's like irony. It's meaty. So that's why like I opt for pot pies, tacos, lasagnas, because that's not the only meat that's in there. Like I do, if you want ground turkey or ground beef, that is, mixed in, and then you get to do that. A smoothie, it's not like, I was actually talking to someone else. It's not like you're dropping a whole placenta in a blender with some bananas and strawberries.
Placenta. Gotta get that pomegranate and placenta joint from Wawa. You ain't had that pomegranate and placenta from the Wawa joint? Oh man, I like the 24-ounce myself. Get a little whipped cream on it.
Exactly. No, you're not. You're not doing that. But it's in smaller doses. So I was like, that's what I do. I also put them in capsules. I make it into a tincture. And then if you do decide, like I said, lotus birth. So those are all the options that we give as far as the placenta. And then we do like prints and stuff like that for keepsakes. So cord keepsakes. We do stuff with like resins. You get keychains, nice, like, I guess, decorative pieces that you can put on mantles or whatnot. Like I said, prints. If people want pictures, like here's a picture of what a placenta print would look like, and that comes standard with your choice of like capsules and all that other kind of stuff. So some people like to commemorate, what I mean, the birth and the whole 9 yards, and so that's just a a fun way to be able to keep that.
Okay, so now that makes me curious. So who eats that? Like, is that just the mom? Like, that?
Yes.
Listen, okay, cool. Because like, don't be slip out. Like, you don't want to be somewhere and be like, what's this? What's this? Steak? This steak taco? Nah, that's that placenta up in that joint.
Yeah,
little sriracha.
You can slip the breast milk in his cereal, but don't slip the placenta. That should only be consumed by the person that grew it.
Okay, good. It's good to know that there are rules to this placenta situation.
Yeah. Actually, so it's funny that you say that because I personally do not want any more children, but I had talked to my husband about possibly being a surrogate, because I know there are women that are out here that would love to have kids, or even same-sex couples that would love to have kids, but cannot be able to do that. So I'm like, I would love to be able to do that, but can I like eat my placenta? I can't. I can't. And isn't that crazy?
Yes, it makes sense, because it's really not. That was almost a riddle. I ain't gonna lie. It was a riddle when you said it. Like, because technically, if you're a surrogate, you're carrying somebody else's everything, right? So it's technically their placenta, not yours. Like, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So then it like makes me wonder. I'm like, so where does that leave the surrogate? Like, if she needed some help, and that's where so once again, in comes Chef Mo. So that's why they kind of just mesh together, because if you can't eat your placenta, then Morgan comes in with the food knowledge that she knows to be able to still give you foods that will help with blood flow, help, get your hormones back together, to replenish, your iron, to, be a diuretic, all that kind of stuff. So it goes through.
Okay. And listen, so since I don't plan on eating none of those, but you was talking, you said you told me to put the lactation milk in the cereal. I don't want that with my cereal. It's sweet. I found out hurt. But my question, I believe y'all do a whole lactation situation as well. What's that?
We do. So my partner, like I said, she's a baker, and like actually officially through culinary school and stuff. So I come with the years of experience in the industry. She comes with the actual culinary degree and a whole plethora of things. So she is a chef, but she is a bomb baker. And so we have smoothie packs that you can do like by subscription if you plan on breastfeeding for an extended period of time. This way you don't have to, try to figure out, well, whatever am I going to do with that? We have energy bites, we have muffins, we have cookies, we have teas. I'm trying to think if we have anything else. I think that's the crux of what it is. And then of course, if you wanted a couple of meals that would also help promote, or help increase your milk supply, that's something that we can be able to do as well. But yeah, we have a nice little treat department. Cookies, brownies, muffins, anything you could possibly think of. And so we have a whole menu for that.
Just for a birthing just for the birthing situation. Wow.
Yeah, so we have a placenta menu and we have a lactation menu.
Wow. So like, do you show do they like deliver you the milk? Like, oh, here, just pump this, bang, bang. What you need, that 2%, got that 6%. Go ahead. They give you the milk, and then you take the milk and you make the stuff? Is that how
No, actually, so it's funny that you say that. We are working on something that has breast milk in it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I'll personally divulge that with you, but I won't put that out there yet. But I was like, we are scheming some really fun things to help actually older people, older children, you know what I mean? Once you're past the 12 months, you've got the teeth, you're eating solids, as just an alternative as far as the breast milk is concerned. And especially if she's not like, I don't feel like doing this anymore, but now I have tons of milk, what can I do with it? You know what I mean? This way, if you're not going to bank it and you're like, I would rather my child consume it or something like that. So I mean, we make breast milk jewelry. My doula partner, Natasha, it's like she's the one who does the placenta keepsakes, and she's getting into like the breast milk jewelry and all that other kind of stuff. Like, I have the most amazing team. Like, these women are super creative. They put up with
I need
ideas.
I need to know what breast milk jewelry is. Like, okay, listen, I'm gonna give a disclaimer here. Even though this is IG Live and I'm gonna post it on YouTube and all that stuff, because this is such a universal topic, I'm trying to be clean and not say the T word here. Because listen, it's funny. It's hard too. It's very hard. Anyway, okay, I just had to let the world know my struggle. That's my struggle. At any rate. So you be saying that they put that milk, that milk.
Yeah.
They put that milk, they squeeze it, and how I go in the jewelry. Tell me how I can get a breast milk pendant.
You gotta hit up Natasha. Hit up Beyond Birthing for your milk jewelry. That's how you do it. Yeah, it looks like, look, just that beautiful opal ring that you've been eyeing. Yes, we can make that out of your jewelry. Yeah, but we're looking into things for dads as well, because we would like keepsakes for them. So we've been like playing around with like rings for dad that look pretty cool, that might have pieces of the placenta or something like that in it. Or like I said, we do keychains or something like that.
It doesn't
so
go
they kind of feel
bad.
No,
Okay.
I was like,
all right.
Catherine's dehydrated now. I mean, yes, it can go bad. I mean, I have a window that from the time that it comes out and I do something with it, if you're planning on consuming it, I got a window. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my brain just goes to play. I'm like, who left that placenta out? Somebody left that placenta out. Y'all ain't refrigerated or nothing, Jesus. We ain't eating that tonight.
Exactly. If you don't refrigerate, that would have a smell. Okay, I'm gonna just let you know. And I'm sure you could probably taste it too. I don't suggest that.
Oh man, listen. Oh, that is not Deliciously Dope. But shout out to Deliciously Dope for, by the way, because I want the world to know that y'all have a regular menu too. Like, y'all have a non-birth related menu that y'all
exactly.
tend
We're
to offer.
full service caterers.
Yes, I've had the tacos several times, and they are delicious without placenta. Like I ain't never had those, but listen, I just want the world to know, Deliciously Dope makes delicious tacos,
See,
no
that's
placenta.
what we were thinking. We're like, listen, if we can make all this other food so good, why couldn't we make a placenta taste good? We gotta try our hand at it, right? Like, come on. There's a market for everything. And as far as we're concerned, we're like, listen, we are dope at what we do when it comes to food. And so why not use that purposeful knowledge that we have about food and nutrition and how to cook it? Like, we're no slouches when it comes to food. We're not just people who are going to the store, picking some stuff off the shelf that's already pre-made, throwing it into a fryer. That's not how we do. Everything is fresh. All of our sauces are, are made from scratch. We are real about what we do, and we want to be intentional about it because we care about the people that are eating it, and we don't want to be serving food that is going to be inevitably killing our people.
That's a fact. Listen, I've had the food at Up and Smoke, which I'm hosting this year. Y'all gonna be back this year? Are y'all there this year?
Yes, we are helping with the food vending, so yeah, we're excited. Food
Listen, and
vendors,
I don't know.
I was like, once you guys, hit up Delaware Normal, you'll be expecting a phone call from me to make sure that, because we've got a lot of fun things planned for that. So.
Oh yeah, listen, it's gonna be a vibe. I'm just telling you, I'm be there. I'm hosting Harvey Road, gonna be on the stage at some point. It's gonna be, my eyes gonna be in a good space, and I'm gonna go over to Deliciously Dope and say, let me get the number 7, no placenta.
Definitely. Look, I hope we don't have any placentas around there. Like, listen, there needs to be a midwife around then if there's any placentas. And please do know if there's anyone pregnant that I'd be over there like, so what do you plan on doing with that placenta? Like, I can't lie. Just like people go out and they see certain things and they just run up to someone and they're like, hey, you know what? You look like you need a roofer. Do you have holes in your roof? You walk up to someone, you're a mechanic, and you see a dent in their car. Hey, I can fix that dent for you. That's what I do. I walk through Dollar Tree like, hey, you need a doula?
That is hilarious. Did she look at you like, I'm not even pregnant? This is gas. That is funny to me.
No, see, you have to be very mindful when it comes to that.
I'm just bloated right now. I can't believe this is just water. It's water. Okay.
Exactly. And here's the funny thing. I was like, although we're laughing about this, I get into people's inboxes and I do that because I am very passionate about how necessary it is to have a doula, to have that support, and if nothing else, to just have that knowledge. If I didn't need money to sustain life, my children, and what I would like to, do on the other side of things, I would do it for free. The prices that we have set so that it allows us to be able to build a business and build a foundation for our family, but it also in turn allows us to be able to offer those same services to those who can't afford it for discount or free. And that's what, as our personal business, not necessarily what we do with Central Delaware Community Doula Program, but just, Deliciously Dope and Beyond Birthing. Like, we want to be able to have that give back. If you can't afford it, go ahead, pay it. It's not astronomical. It is worth it. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your birth experience, and you're investing in, in your child. So at this point in time, it's worth it to be able to do that. And so that you can ensure I'm gonna have a positive birthing experience out of this, and you feel confident, but then you also are like, you know what? And now I got a chance to be able to help someone else have that same experience and not have to worry about it. You know what I mean? So, and that's the number one reason why I love being able to work with Central Delaware Community Doula Program. It's grant funded, and it allows specifically Black women in Delaware, or Black birthing people in Delaware, to be able to have doula support at low to no cost. So if you're
good.
Yeah. So I mean, it's necessary, and I can't support everyone, but our calendar is open. Natasha and I are open for both birth and postpartum clients, but Central Delaware Community Doula Program comes with almost 30 now Black doulas in Delaware.
Wow.
So yes, so I can at least say in 3 years, I went from knowing that there was only one to now there at least being 32, 33 at least. So, and I love that. Yes, we do love placentas. Natasha's in here. We plot on placentas all the time.
Placenta plotting. That is amazing. And I have so many jokes. Okay, but now so many. Oh, and that whole central Delaware doula situation. Y'all got something happening in March, don't you?
We do. We have a Sneakerball. Delaware has never had a Sneakerball, so y'all need to come out right now until I believe it's the end of the month now. We are doing a 2 for $75 special on tickets. It is in Dover. You can find that information, I'm sure, on your page, on my page, Deliciously Dope's page. It's on our link tree, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, I was like, you definitely want to come out. It's a fundraiser gala event, so get dolled up, wear your sneakers, whole 9 yards. We have a silent auction, there's a DJ, there's food, bar, whole 9 yards. So I was like, we're gonna, have a lot of fun in raising so that we can continue to be able to do this work. So we have that coming up, and that is on March 10th, like I said, in Dover. And then April, I believe it's 16th, it's that Saturday, is the Black Birth Expo. So you'll be able to find that information on our page too. So we'll be there, representing as part of the Central Delaware Community Doula Program, but then we'll also have a Beyond Birthing table that'll have lactation treats, information, and all of our other services that we have as well. Because like I said, we're big on networking. So we work with a lot of other businesses where it's like, you know what, if you book us for this, then they're willing to give you a discount for this because you would also like their services. Like we have, like I said, birth photographer. We've got a virtual personal trainer. We have a soon to be sonographer. So to be able to get your sonogram, your sonograms and stuff like that, to be able to get that done. A prenatal masseuse, chiropractors. So everybody, I was like, yeah, because all of those things you don't even realize is kind of necessary. I had a chiropractor. I had no idea that having a chiropractor when you're pregnant is amazing, especially if you have back issues. So, and you're older. I was 34 and they were saying that ugly G word, geriatric. Nobody wants to be called geriatric at 34. But yeah.
Wow.
Geriatric.
That means so what age does that start? Because I want to, listen, I'm a protest.
That time.
Don't be putting me in that bucket.
Well,
I don't even know.
It's that time. But the funny thing is, I was around 30, 35-ish is when they start to consider you to be geriatric, especially definitely at 40. And it's unfortunate because that's really only here. You see women at 90 having babies in India. There's nothing geriatric about that woman or her parts.
God, so many jokes. I'm gonna get canceled. I can't even. Okay, so nope, not even going for. Listen, she won't be 90. Legs might. Never mind. She was busting it open too. Anyway,
listen,
all right.
at 90, if you can be able to have a child at 90, okay, you must be doing something right.
Yes, talk about stretching and hydrated like a motherfucker.
Absolutely, you have to be. Can you imagine? You're supposed to already drink half of your body weight in ounces. Okay, do you know she's got real hydrated. But yeah.
So you got your own show as well, okay? The House of Peaches. Speaking of peaches, old peaches. Never mind.
Yes, House of Peach. And Snack Entertainment.
What is it? Tell me what is your show?
Yeah, so it's called Hop the Series. It is a women's empowerment podcast. I have one of the most amazing co-hosts. Her name is April, Anderson, and she actually is a surgical tech instructor. So the two of us like are like, yay, because she tends to be in the L&D spot. So actually our last podcast, we were talking about doula stuff, and we were talking about her being in the OR for C-sections, and me being the doula in there, and we're like, wow, our paths literally can 100% collide.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talk about ourselves, we talk about just all types of stuff, but then we also have amazing guests that come in that are featured every week. They are women entrepreneurs, and we just allow them to share whatever's on their heart, what got them into their business, what exactly are they trying to accomplish with those businesses, and then how exactly can they empower and inspire others, whether it's just in general or in the actual field that they're doing. So I love it. I love it. Like, April is amazing. Our guests have been amazing so far, and we're already booked up almost, I think, into like May already with guests. So we're excited. That's Tuesdays at 7. We might move to 7:30, but Tuesdays at 7. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Listen, I'm here for it. I've watched the episode. I watched a couple episodes actually,
Okay.
but I ain't gonna lie. My favorite was still when y'all had the person who runs the school up there, who runs like the daycare up there.
That was
Listen,
April's mom. I know, that was my
I
favorite
was
too. We
listen. She was
just
so
talked
real.
about that.
She was so real. You know why he do it at your house? He do it at your house because you let him get away with it. Okay. Got him.
And that's so funny. April and we were just saying, she was like, I told my mom, like, Mom, they're still talking about this episode. I told her, I said, your mom was epic. Like, she really was. She was, yeah, you guys definitely take a look at that. You can find it on YouTube. It's youtube.com/the @empowering women, or you can, follow either one of us, April Green Anderson, I think is what it is, on Facebook, and me, Morgan B. Harvey, or even House of Peach, all on Facebook. So I was like, they're all streamed from those platforms.
Okay. Yeah. So now I got one last question to ask you before we wrap it up a little bit. So what advice would you give somebody who wants to get into this like doula world, or like get into that birthing world, if you will?
Right. It's a calling, so it's not for everybody. Don't jump into this because you're like, ooh, everybody's pregnant and I want a business too. Like, that's not why you get into this at all. Like, I'm
listen,
real.
No, he gonna be. I can imagine, like, what can I do for a good hustle? Like, nah.
Exactly.
Screw OnlyFans. I'm going to doula, man. Listen.
Hey, now that's not to say that there are not spaces in the birth world where you can be able to do that. You know what I mean? If you are a photographer, sure, go ahead and be a birth photographer. That right there is going to make you some really good money. You want to, you know what I mean? If you want to get into the birth work for that, if you're really into arts and stuff, like I was saying with the placentas, then fine, go ahead and get yourself trained as a placenta specialist. You don't have to do the capsules. You can just do artwork, because there's people who were like, I'm good on eating it, but I would like to still commemorate this event. And you can do something like that. There's a woman who makes 6 figures just encapsulating placentas a year. Yeah.
Okay.
So
listen.
There's a market. There is money in it. But at the same time, doula work is not necessarily at this point sustainable as far as, to really have a livable income. Our country is doing its part in trying to have us be able to be billed through insurance, which I feel like would be a great thing, because now that allows services to be available to everyone and it's less of a luxury. But at the same time, then the question is, so what exact stipulations are you going to be putting on us? And I say all that to say, I mean, we're in February. Granny midwives and doulas, this is something that we as Black women, specifically in this country, we came and did, and that's one of the most respected statuses that we had on either. It didn't matter if you were Black or white. If you were a midwife, you were highly respected for what you did. And once they really saw what was going on, especially in the Black community, and with that, there were a lot of stipulations that were put on these midwives to the point where then they almost became obsolete. And so now in our own community, we are now more driven to going to hospitals rather than having home births. And these were, I'm obviously talking about low risk pregnancies, not ones that really need to be, medically monitored. So, I think if anything, that would be our only possible gripe with taking on insurance. And there might be some who decide not to opt to take on insured clients just so that, some of those stipulations aren't there. It's necessary to be trained. Training doesn't stop with just one training. You see some that are, a couple of days. You see some that are a weekend. You see some that are a year. You know what I mean? They're all over the place, and every single training gives you something different. I've learned amazing things from my first one. And then the second one that I took was so much more in depth, but that one was actually more Afrocentric as well. So I got a lot of cultural base behind that. So I'm looking into another one that's going to be more technique driven. I'm looking into another one that actually gets into other cultures and how other cultures do certain things, whether it be comfort measures or food, you know what I mean? So I'm constantly immersing myself as well as my partners so that we can be able to be at the top of our game, be able to, offer our clients the best options. And honestly, if you're not going to come to this with the intention of really trying to do some work and understand that the work that you're doing in this also is going to be work on yourself, as an adoptee, I had no idea how much watching and helping other women birth their babies was going to have an impact on myself. I didn't even realize how my own children had an impact on myself, and realizing that when I had my first child, he was the first person I ever technically was related to, because I did not know who my birth family was at all. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things, like I said, mentally that comes into it. So, make sure that your mental space is right and your mental space is good so that you can be able to successfully support others. And then, honestly, if you feel the call and you feel like this is something that you would like to do, and you understand that, this is, it's necessary, honestly, for all birthing people, but especially for Black and Brown, I think it's for you. You can always contact me. I have a bunch of resources as far as trainings, where to be able to get them, contact you with other people. Like I said, Central Delaware Community Doula Program is a great resource, as well as Black and Indigenous doulas. And hey, we are available as well. Natasha and I, we love people. We love what we do. And, we spread, like we said, our name is Beyond Birthing for a reason. Like, what we do is really beyond just the birth. We do beforehand, and we also do after. And that comes even into, like I said, nanny, like in-home childcare services. Because we have, people who are like, okay, now I just had this baby and I don't want my baby in daycare. So that's a need as well. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different places and a lot of different niches that you can be able to get in where there is a need. And, we're always looking for extra hands and help, because, God just keeps blessing us with babies and caterings and events and stuff. So we're about to get into, a hiring space, in our business. And, so it's exciting. And I appreciate, this opportunity to, share.
Y'all providing jobs and babies and things. This is beautiful. Exactly. Oh man, that's why I did it.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, this was not what we had originally planned, but it's something that just keeps coming. And the more when people say, hey, you know what, I don't want to work anymore, but I want to do this, and this is what I've got, and this is what I'm bringing to the table. It's amazing how just literally God provides exactly what's necessary. You know what I mean? And so we're all working mothers. And, you know, we're getting to a place where soon our goal is next year for our entire team to be full-time.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah. I was like, we're halfway there. So I was like, we're 2 out of 4. So I was like, now we're really grinding to make sure that our other 2 partners can be able to say, okay, you know what? It's been real. So that OPJ, other people's job. And now we're working 100% for ourselves and building the legacy that we want.
I love it. I love it. That's so dope. I'm here for it. So before yeah, listen, congrats on everything. I like how it's growing. You know, I'm supporting day one. I'm around. So you gotta give me a word. Yeah, I need a word. Give me a word. It's time. It's about that time. You know, G take his hat off and I leave it on. And y'all give me a word and I give you a poem.
Placenta, just because. And I'm gonna need to like get this portion of this live so that I can make it a sound the next time I post the placenta reel.
I'm glad you told me that because I was gonna start off with you can cook it, you can eat it, you can taste it. All right, never mind.
Do it. You know I need a jingle. You know I need a jingle. I'm gonna hit you up for the jingle. Dang. Look, I'm trying to get our business account together. You over here gotta spend money. We gotta cut you up a couple dollars for writing us a placenta jingle.
Yo, goodness gracious, she gave me placenta, y'all. Okay. And then she told me she might use it later, so I gotta be halfway serious. I can't just
That's okay. Look, I'll take you off the hook. You can do a second.
No, I'm gonna do it. I got it. We're good. Oh, okay. I'm thinking. So I had to grow for this. Okay. Oh, wait. People don't even notice this. Like, what they do is, I mean, once it's done and that cord is long, I mean, probably about a half a yard, you'll cut that off and everything get this guard. Why? I get it. Probably because you don't know what that could supply. You don't realize that grew for your health to kind of make sure that you can have more than just emotional and physical wealth, but it kind of can make sure that you can live life off the top shelf. See, people don't realize that this is useful for what it can do for you. I get it. You thought that once you clip that, clean it all up, like, you know, removes cuticles. That's not what that's meant to do. I get it. Because the fact that it grew for you, you thought that it wasn't really for you. That's just what they trained you to believe true. A lot of times what they don't get is because that cord is carrying nutrients and that sac that baby sits happens to feed it and make sure that it can grow to the best it gets, that sometimes you have to let that baby get all of it. Sometimes you need to make sure you get all of it. Therefore, you can stand tall with it. Therefore, you can make sure that no matter what you go through, you're your strongest self through all of it. See, this is not something that should be ignored at any given moment, but I promise you, a lot of times they'll ignore it or they won't even show it. So most of this can get lost in the anxiety and the stress and all of the foolishness, and you'll forget. But I need you to know that there is plenty of benefits to that placenta. All right, so you gotta say this one. I ain't even do it.
I'm gonna have to go listen and like transpose that. Okay. Oh my goodness, that needs to be on paper. You said so much. That was it. That was it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I learned it today, most of it, you know.
Listen, but I was like, but you also got what I didn't say. And that part where you said sometimes you don't even see it. That is why I'm a doula. I didn't see my son's placenta. And if it wasn't for my birth photographer who saw them literally put it in a bag and about to dispose of it, say, hey, can I take a picture of that? No one asked me, did I want my placenta? But they knew that I already was dealing with anxiety and depression before. So at no point in time did anyone say, hey, this might be something that you're interested in. No, they just took a brochure in the back behind some, and hoped that maybe I'd read it. So when I say you said a lot, you said a lot. You said a lot. You said a lot.
Listen, I mean,
I appreciate
I cut it for you. I send it to you. I got you. I got you. You can do something with that.
Thank you. I appreciate
No problem. So with that, listen, just make sure you tap it around my boy D, because you're gonna set a president for me in the future. Like I listen, you should do that. They around the world. I'm looking to get Tabitha Brown, y'all. Somebody figure it out. Y'all put something on it. Put something on it, y'all. Y'all can collaborate too. You can listen. If female want to get with her friends, I'll put something on me being Tabitha Brown.
Listen, it takes a community.
It takes a village. It takes a village. Okay. With that said, again, by the way, the open mic jam session, as I wrap this up, the open mic jam session got moved. So now it's not going to be at the Queen. It's going to be at the Wilmington Library on the first Wednesday of every month. That's going to come up. Boom. Tap in there. You have on March 10th. Go ahead. Tell them one more time. Sneakerball.
March 10th is the Sneakerball. It's a masquerade Sneakerball. So you've got your mask, you've got your DJ. We've got a silent auction with awesome stuff from the Phillies, the Eagles, masseuse, even, my favorite, one of my favorite collaborators, the Underground Railroad Tours, UGR 3-Day. She is actually auctioning off a genealogy session. So we've got all types of stuff up here. Yeah, absolutely. So definitely one of the 10th. Yes.
Yep. I'll make sure that the link that the link is in when I post this on YouTube, the link will be there. Otherwise, with that said, so tomorrow again, it's going to be live at the Rockford Tavern with my man Ty Mathis Express. They're going to be rocking. He got the guitar out, bong bong. And then Sunday, it's going to be Oddity Dope, and that's going to be the Love Edition. Mo Nicole going to be there. Yeah, facts. Yep, because you're going to have Babe and Honey going to be doing the dance on that.
Honey, yes.
They're going to be on the stage with the you know what I mean? Pure Romance going to have the little zzz, you know what I'm saying? Zzz for sale. She got the zzz for sale.
Listen, she stays with the suitcase, okay? That's my homegirl. I've been rolling with her for years. Listen, Kristen is true to this.
And that's why we're here, because I feel like, listen, so we fresh after Valentine's Day. So depending on if you was somebody celebrating, then you might need Mo in a couple months. And if you're not celebrating, then come on to Oddly Dope. You might, you feel me? Get yourself a little zit. Even if you got somebody, even if you had the Valentine, get your zit. Anyway, I'm done. I'm fooling around. All right. I'm G Dash. This has been Hats Off. Thank you, Mo. Is there anything you want to say to the people on your way out?
Make sure that you follow us on Deliciously Dope Teen here on Instagram. And let's see. Oh yeah, as far as you're concerned, the dedoulas.com is the website where you can be able to purchase your tickets and be able to leaf through all of the wonderful doulas that are in Delaware right now.
Okay. Listen, thank you again. This has been a great time. I appreciate you. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll see y'all next week.
Yes, shout out to my team.